Hey Algebra 1 kids, welcome to week 7, Tuesday with Dr. Callahan. These are your following 3 questions for the warm-up block. So go ahead and pause it and answer the following question. Keep in mind that this is week 7, Tuesday, and your warm-up block is going to be due on week 9, Friday. So to give you a little bit of perspective of where we are, after this you have fall break. After fall break is week 8. After week 8 is week 9, and that week 9 Friday is when this is going to be due. So make sure you guys have all 100 boxes filled out. Here are your answers for the last question. Okay, so when I saw you guys yesterday, which was week 7, Monday, we talked about the following vocabulary words with relation, domain, range, function, what is not considered a function. And then we did a categorization activity where I showed you guys 16 cards and you were supposed to go and tell me whether they're a function or not a function, or you're unsure. And then I gave you guys a few other options of a foldable that we talked about how to identify domain range, whether it's a function or not a function, based on a graph, an ordered pair, mapping, and a table. So different ways that they can show you this on the test or the end of the course exam or the common district final. And as always, if you guys were trying to look for a function, you just need to simply look at the x value, like this example, for example, and ask, does the x repeat? Here you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and clearly x does not repeat, so yes, it is a function. Now, do the same thing over here. If you take a look at number 6, you look at the x to see if it repeats, and in this case, x is -2, x is -2, so yes, it does repeat. So in this case, this one is not a function. And then we talked about looking at graphs. Remember the vertical line test? You simply draw a straight line, and if it touches the graph at more than 1 point, like 2 or 3 points, then it is not a function, because in this case, it's saying x is equal to -2. Here, x is also equal to -2. So the -2 on itself, it does repeat, so it's not a function. All right, let's take a look at what we're doing today with your lessons. We're going to continue talking about domain range, input, output, functions, vertical line test, and then we'll have you guys do a flashcard on Quizlet, which is right here. And then in class, we'll have a quizzes and a Kahoot. I also have a video that I want you guys to watch right here. And then I have an algebra puzzle that says, why did the actress cut a hole in the theater floor and dive through? So we have that as well. So go ahead and turn into your packet on the white packet for week 7, Tuesday. Once again, we have a little bit of vocab. We're going to fill out this chart, and then I have a video, and throughout the video, it's going to talk about vertical line test, domain range, and then examples. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So understand the concept of function, domain, range, and relations. So make sure you're over here on this part of the notes. Okay, so copy this part down. What is a relation? A relation is any set of ordered pairs. So any set of a point, essentially, because here you have 3 ordered pairs and they're -3, 4, 3, 0, 0, 2, and that's how we read it off of the chart. If I were to go ahead and graph this, these 3 points are shown on this line, and you connect the dot and you have a straight line. A function is a relation in which no 2 different ordered pairs have the same first coordinate. First coordinates are the input, or better known as the x value, or the domain. So essentially what it's saying is that the x cannot repeat if it is a function. And if you take a look at this graph right here, you can visually see that the x doesn't repeat because you have a negative 3, 0, and 3. But then also, if I were to draw a line here, it only touches the red graph at one point with every vertical line that I draw. So yes, this will be considered a function because the x does not repeat and it passes the vertical line test. Let's go ahead and take a look at this set of points. Look at the domain, which are highlighted in yellow. Do any of them repeat? And no, because it's a 2, 5, negative 3, 0, 1. The range are all the values of 4, 4, 8, 6, and negative 7. The range is also known as the y value. And here you see, well, the range repeat, but I really don't care about the range because the only thing that matters to me is the domain. So this is a function because no two different x values are the same. Vertical line test. Vertical line test sounds exactly what it is. It is a straight line that goes up and down, and if it touches the graph once, then it is a function. If it touches the graph more than once, like twice or 3 times, or maybe sometimes 4 times, then no, it's not a function. So let's take a look at an example here. Example 1, if I were to draw a line right there, notice it only touches this graph once. So if you don't draw another line over here just to test it out, it still touches it once, so it is a function. Take a look at number 2. When I draw the line here, it touches the line or the graph, the red graph, twice. If I draw another line over here, still touches it twice, so it's not a function. Number 3, if I draw a straight line, notice here it touches a circle twice. So it repeats, it's not a function. Next one I have here is a function notation. So this is called f of x is equal to 3x minus 5. F of x is the same thing as saying the y value. So what I'm going to do here is that whenever I have a value in here, into the parenthesis of x, or the f, here it's 4. I'm going to replace it here whenever I see an x. So instead of having a 3 times x minus 5, I have a 3 times 4 minus 5, which is a 12 minus 5, and that gives me a 7. So if you have a calculator, let's try this one. Here is your table of values. So when x equals negative 1, you're going to plug all of these x values here into this equation, which is going to give you the y value. So let's take a look. Negative 1 plus 1 is going to give you a 0. 0 plus 1 is going to give you a 1. 1 plus 1 is going to give you a 2. 2 plus 1 is going to give you a 3. And here are your order pairs. Your first order pair is going to be negative 1, 0. So on negative 1, here's my dot. Second one is 0, 1. So at 0, I go up 1. 1, comma 2. So at 1, I go up 2. 2, 3. So at 2, 1, 2, go 1, 2, 3. Those are 4 dots. Connect the line or connect the dots. And then you have this line right here. And is this a function? Yes, it is a function because none of the x values repeat. Now let's try something a little bit more complicated. Let's take a look at this equation. Here we have y equals 3 minus x squared. So whenever I see an x, or an x here, I replace it with these values here. So for the first one, I have a 3 minus negative 2 squared, which is a 3 minus 2 times 2 is a 4. And that gives me a negative 1. So my first point is a negative 2, negative 1. Then I have a 3 minus negative 1 squared, which is a 3 minus 1, and that gives me a 2. Then I have a 3 minus 0 squared, which is just a 3. 3 minus 1 squared, which is just a 3 minus 1, and that's a 2. And then I have a 3 minus 2 squared, which is a 3 minus 4, which is a negative 1. And here are my points right here that I've just created. And once you have these points, go ahead and plot them on the line. And this is what you have, is a parabola. And if I were to go ahead and graph these, I will have my first one, negative 2, negative 1, right here, negative 1, 2, right there, 0, 3, that's the peak of your parabola, 1, 2, which is right here, 2, 1, 2, negative 1, which is right there. And that is a parabola. And yes, it is a function, because if I draw a straight line through here, it only touches the red graph at one point. Okay, so now I'm going to have you guys practice with this one here. Take a look at your guided notes. And on your guided notes, you should have, why did the actress cut a hole and dive through the floor, or dive and cut a hole in the theater floor and dive through? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these questions here. I'll go over one with you guys, and then you're gonna go over this by yourself. So here it's saying that, let's go over number 4. Y equals x over 2. So when x is 24, it's a 24 divided by 2, which is a 12. Next one, 9 divided by 2, which is 3.5. 0 divided by 2, which is 0. And you're just gonna continue on with this. All right, you guys, that is it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.